Hi, this is Toni Harris, the Turnaround Queen, and I want to welcome you to the Getting Started with Constant Contact webinar, or actually it's just a video, and it's telling you about how to use Constant Contact. You probably received this video as a bonus for becoming a new customer, and I want to thank you for becoming my customer. And I know that Constant Contact will transform your business because it did for me. And so this video is going to help you to get started with going inside of Constant Contact and using some of its very valuable features. Most of you got a website match free as a result of signing up for Constant Contact. So the website match will be part of your email templates. We also have over 300 templates for those of you who weren't ready to get your website match. We have over 300 templates that you can customize to be your own. And today, that's what we're going to actually do. Take a template and customize it. And so I'll talk a little bit more about the website match template once we get inside the program. But again, I just want to make you successful, help you be successful, and getting started with the program. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is log in. You can come to my URL, tonyharrisspeaks.constantcontact.com, or you can just go to constantcontact.com. Put in your login ID, and for most of you, that's your email address that you gave me, and then your password. Unless you gave me a specific password, your password will be change me. You can change that at any time. So for me, I'm going to log in with my password. And I'm actually going to use my live account here. And so you might see a lot of things in here, but that's okay. It's a real working account. And you'll see that I use Constant Contact constantly. Okay. I'm going to get as much space on my screen as possible. So I'm going to turn off my bookmarks. And we are loading my Constant Contact. So here's the Constant Contact environment. And here you have some navigation links that'll take you into the main Constant Contact window. And then over here, you have home, email, social campaigns. And as a reminder, social campaigns will help you to get more Facebook likes to your Facebook page. You can offer a free report or a coupon if you get more likes. And so that is a great program, and it's only $20 a month. So if you want to generate more likes for your Facebook page, more social media presence, then the social campaigns will help you with that. Save Local is like Groupon, where you want to do a special and you want to blast that out to your contacts as well as the friends of your contacts. So that's your Save Local. Event Spot will actually help you with your events. And I clicked on it. And let's take a look and see on how Event Spot it is a very handy program for if you have an event and you want to send out invitations, you want to collect RSVPs, you want to collect money, then Event Spot will do it for you, and it's a month. So this is the Event Spot window, and you see here I actually have an event that's coming up, and so I'm going to click that event and just take a look at the dashboard. Eventually I will do another video that just speaking about Event Spot, but if you're an organization that has events and you want to send out invitations and you want to collect RSVPs and collect registration money, then the Event Spot program will be able to help you to do that. So here's the dashboard for Event Spot. And so you can see it has all the details of the event. It has the emails that I sent out, the registrants. And so this is a handy way to be able to manage your event. And then we have survey, and survey is if you want to survey your clients. And most of us should be surveying our clients at least twice a year. And so if you want to send out a survey or a poll question asking people, do they intend to come to your gala, then you can send out a poll question to the masses. And so Constant Contact helps you to do that. Today, though, we're going to focus on email marketing and getting you started with your email. And so I'm going to go back to the program here. And the very first thing we have to do when it's your very first time using the account is adjust the settings. So I'm going to take you into My Settings. And when I click My Settings, we're going to set up our organization information, our signature, our address, etc. All right, I am in the organization information window here. And you see in the first area, yours is probably blank. But I'm going to click here on Edit Organization Information. And here I can modify my company name. I can put my website address in. You see I'm using Facebook, my Facebook address. But you can put your web address there. You can put your phone number. And then you can upload a logo. I already have my logo in here, of course, because I use this all the time, but I'm going to show you how to upload an image. So I clicked on Select or Change Image, and here is my logo. Now, in your case, you will have nothing in there, and so we're going to click Upload New. When you go to Upload New, you're going to choose the file, and the file needs to be residing on your computer, on your hard drive, or on a flash drive, so you can select it and upload it into Constant Contact. We're going to click Select Files, and then we're going to go to navigate to the folder that contains your logo. In my case, I have a ton of picture files, so I'm going to go to my business files, and you see here at the very bottom, I have my logo, and I'm going to click Open. Now, I loaded a JPG file. You can also use PNG files in Constant Contact, but they tend to be much larger. And in the past, I've gotten errors on bringing the files in because there is a limit. So if you can convert your files to JPG files, which a lot of our graphic files are, you want to use a JPG file, JPEG, instead of a PNG file. Now, in my case, since I already have the logo I want to use in my setup, I'm not going to import this one. But at this point, you would click Done, and it will bring in your logo. I'm going to cancel mine, and yes, I want to cancel that. And then it's going to just take me back to the previous window. Okay, so that's how you bring in a graphic into the graphics library. And so that logo would then be in your graphics library for future use in other newsletters as well. All right, I'm going to save that organization information. And then we're going to go and edit our signature information. Okay, so now we're going to go to the signature information, and the signature information, this is the information that will show up in the signature section of your document. And so it has my name, and I put the Turnaround Queen because that's my brand mantra, and I want to reinforce my brand, so I'm adding that. And then it puts my email signature, my email address in the signature that I want. And then any signature image that I want. And so I am going to add an image here. Actually, I think I already have an image, but let's go ahead and select an image. And the image I want is my business card. So I've already uploaded it. And so I'm going to click Insert and Save. And that's going to select my business card as my signature image. All right, next we're going to move to email message settings. So in the from space, remember in class we talked about how important it is for people to recognize who the email is from. So in the from space, I put my name, Toni Harris, dash the turnaround queen. If I was to just put the turnaround queen, most people wouldn't just recognize that by itself. So you can use either your name, your company name, or the combination of the two. And if you want to change what's there, you can just click edit. Okay. Contact settings, if you have that, some of you may and some of you may not, just leave that checkbox blank. The footer options. Footer says make link inclusion modifications and add a comment box to your unsubscribe page. So if someone wants to update their profile in your using the footer area, they can do that. And then the unsubscribe comment box, we want that on. That allows people when they unsubscribe to tell us why they're unsubscribing. We send out too many emails. We are not giving them information that's valuable. Whatever they want to tell us, they can do that in the comment box. Over here on the right, we have to put in a physical address, whether it's a street address or it is a P.O. box. So click on edit address and edit the address. Now I know, like me, if in case you can't tell, some of you office in your home. And for a while I had to use my home address as my email address. And so I know may not be comfortable with that, so you can go and get a P.O. box from the post office or from a local postal center, UPS store, what have you. And that's what I ended up doing. I just went to a local postal center in my neighborhood and got a mailbox so that I could have a real business address. Okay? But you got to have an address. It will not let you send out an email. Why? Because it wants to make sure you're not a spammer. And that's part of the CAN-SPAM Act, to make sure these emails are coming from legitimate people. And so you have to put in an address. And then in the other section, we have authentication. Authentication should be on. Most by default are off. So just click the word off. Come down to this section, click enable and save. And what this does, you can read all this up here, but basically this allows you to say, I am a legitimate person, I am not a spammer, and it helps us to get through companies, internet service providers. Okay, and then language should be English and autosave should be on by default. The confirmed opt-in, leave that off unless you want your customers to opt into your inbox and then they receive an email that says, are you sure you want to be on my mailing list? And for me, that's just one step too many. So I encourage you to leave it off. But if you have a compelling reason to double opt in, then leave it, turn it on or leave it on. And then the time zone. Most of my customers are in the Central time zone. Eastern is the default, so change it to Central and click Save. All right, and now we have taken care of our settings, and we only have to do that one time unless there's something in here we need to change. Okay? Verify address. Verify address allows you to verify an email address. By default, the email address we set you up under, you need to verify that. So if you have not verified, you should have received an email from Constant Contact that said, so now we're in the verify address. You should have received an email in your inbox that said, from Constant Contact, that said to verify your email address. If you have done that, your status here will say address verified. If you haven't, it'll say not verified. And you can ask it to resend the email again, or you can just go over to your inbox, search for Constant Contact, find the email, and verify the email address. So we need to verify that these email addresses are legitimate. Now, you can put in email addresses from yourself, from your assistant, from a support mailbox, a customer service mailbox. So you can put in multiple email addresses And you would come in here and just type in the email addresses you want to verify. Constant Contact sends out an email to each of those, log into those inboxes, and accept, verify, so that we know it's a legitimate email address. Okay, so make sure you verify. You can't send out your first email until this step is done. After that, again, you only have to do verify when you want to add a new email address. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and get back into email. There's some email features over here. I'm not going to go into that right now, but if you want to explore that, you can. There's a lot of things, of course, we would not have time to get into. A lot of features we don't have time to get into in the session, and so you could click on email features and check those out. I'm going to go back to the email address or the email tab, and we're going to create a new email. Now, if you got the website match, you will actually see one email in your box that says something like Quick Start Template or Website Match Template. Do not use this template. It is your master. What I want you to do is open the template, look it over, make sure it looks good, make sure that there's no information missing, and if anything is missing, you can edit the template. So go ahead and edit the template. Once it looks like you want to change the name of the template and put in do not use copy first, and I'll show you where to do that. But you don't want to use the master template. You always want to copy it to create your newsletter. So don't forget that step. That's very important, because if you mess up your master, then you have to pay for a new one, and you don't want to do that. And I don't want you to have to do that. Okay? All right, so we're going to go ahead and create a new email. So I'm going to click create an email. And as you can see here, I have create, a reports, responder, archive, etc. So I'm going to create an email. And the first thing it's going to ask me is, do I want to select a template? Okay, so I am in the select a template window, and I have some templates you won't have because of my relationship with Constant Contact. So I'm just going to go to the all templates window, and here it's going to bring up various categories of templates. And here you can look for different types of businesses. You can search. Let's go over here to search keywords and type in let's go with bakery. Okay, if you're a bakery, I'm going to click on that, and it's going to bring up all the templates that may meet the bakery or the restaurant food criteria. All right, and so it brought up a couple of bakery templates. You see that? There's some restaurants. Okay. And so these templates we can use, and it actually brought up 2 pages of templates. I'm actually going to tell it to show me all the templates by selecting I want to see more on the page. All right, very good. I'm going to close out bakery here. I don't want bakery anymore. Let's search for healthcare. So depending on the type of market, you may have to get creative with the words, because the search words sometimes don't match exactly, and you want to find something that could be relatively close to your business. Okay, very good. So it brought up 2 categories, healthcare and healthcare alternatives. And so this one's relatively short, so I'm going to click select to pick that one, and we're going to use this as the basis to modify our template. And so it's going to bring us up to a screen, and then we're going to go in and start editing the template and making it our own. Okay, we're in. Wonderful. So first thing we need to do is name the email. So I am going to name this test newsletter. for video. And I'm going to put the date. All right, very good. And touch enter. Now, remember when I told you you're going to type in do not use, copy first on your website template? This is where you're going to do that. So you're going to open your template, come in here, click here, change the name, and put do not use, copy first in your template. Okay? And then that way you don't make the mistake of using your template. All right, next we're going to come here to the header options. This is where you set up who the email is from, where you want the email to be replied to. So you're just going to click on the box and it opens header options. So the subject for your newsletter. Remember, the second most important thing to get people to read your newsletters today is the subject. Make sure the subject tells people why it's important they open the email. Don't just say September newsletter. Boring. No, tell them why the September newsletter is important so they can feel excited to open it up and read your information. Now, for class purposes, I'm just going to put interesting and exciting subject here. Okay. All right, very good. The from name, it picked up the right from name from my settings. The from email address, I want it to be Toni@ToniHarrisSpeaks.com. So I just clicked the down arrow and picked. You can actually add email addresses on the fly, but remember, each email address must be verified. So before it can be used. So make sure you verify the email address as soon as you add it to the database. Use email address as reply to email. Yes, I don't want it to come to a different email address, but you could. So if you wanted the email to come from you, but you wanted replies to go to your assistant, you would pick a different address for the replies to go to. Permission reminder. Hi, just a reminder that you're receiving this email because you've expressed an interest in Toni Harris Speaks. Don't forget to add Toni@ToniHarrisSpeaks.com to your address book so we'll land in your inbox. And then I'm going to edit this to say, please share with your friends. All right, so you can edit that permission reminder to say whatever you would like. Occasionally, some people can't view the emails in their email box, and so you can put a web page link so that if they're having difficulty viewing it, then they can click on the web page link and it actually open the web page. And then we have social share links. Do you want people to share you with their social media friends? Then turn this option on, and yes, you have to turn it on every time you do an email because there are some emails you won't want shared. And so turn that on, and then your recipients will have the ability to share your email on their social media to promote you. And yes, most of the time we want that. Okay, once that is all done, click OK. So now you see your header appears above. All right. So now we're going into the company logo block. Now you see my logo is there. It's beautiful, but it is really big. So I need to make an adjustment to reduce the size of my logo. I'm going to click on the logo, and that lets me into the box. And then I'm going to click again, and it highlights it in blue. And then I'm going to get the double-headed arrow and adjust my logo. And sometimes you can go to the corner as well and get the two-headed double-headed arrow. And when you get that one, you should be able to, if you can catch it, that's the key. You got to be able to catch it. You can be able to adjust both the edges, the top and the bottom. Let's see here if I can get it. There we go. All right, so that's how you reduce the size of the logo. All right, that's better. And so if you already know how to adjust graphics in your word processor or PowerPoint or any other program, it works the same. Adding text, editing text. In fact, if you look at this toolbar here, you see some of those same icons you would see in a word processor. And so I'm going to go ahead and click Save here, and that's going to close out that box and accept my logo size. Now, notice that the coloring of this template doesn't match my brand. My colors are red, black, and gold. And so I need to modify the colors and fonts of my template to match my brand. So if you notice, it has the body background, it has a sidebar, which is over here. It has a lot of other changes. So let's go ahead and play with those. So I'm going to change the body background to black. Bam, done. Change the sidebar background to black. Okay. I'm going to change the divider background to black. Those are these dividers in here. See that? All right. I'm going to, this light green here, I'm going to change it to light gray. And then I'm going to come down to the font area. Notice that the Toni Harris Speaks is in green, so I'm going to change it to black. And the issue number text is in green. I'm going to change it to black. And now this template looks like me. All right. So you can modify the colors however you want. Now notice when I'm not in a box, not clicked inside of a box, look at the options that appear over here in the left-hand bar. When I go over here to the right, this allows me to add blocks in and take blocks out, and we'll see that in a second. Then when I'm inside of a block, if I click on this text block here, notice that the options on the left, it actually gives me 3 options here: insert, images, and social. And the options actually change here. And we're going to play with those in a few minutes, but I wanted to show you the difference between the two, being inside of a box versus being outside of a box. And so I'm going to go ahead and cancel that for now. And notice again, the items change on the left-hand bar here. Okay, let's go into the header image block. Now, this is a healthcare image. And notice that it gives me about 14 images that I can scroll through. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll through those and see what different images are available that have the healthcare theme. Now, I'm of course not in the healthcare theme or in the healthcare industry, so probably none of these graphics are going to appeal to me, but I want to just show you that if you pick a theme that's close to yours, then you can see that there are graphics already ready for you. You just have to pick the one you want. Okay. Ooh, that one doesn't look too good. That looks a little painful. All right. So notice it uses the same image, and then the next image after it has the word newsletter in it. Okay, so I don't want this graphic, so I'm actually going to click this little wheel in the corner and click the down arrow and click change. And what that's going to do is open the graphics library, and it's going to show me my library of graphics that I've brought in. It's going to show me the stock gallery of images, and all of you should have the My Library Plus. If you don't remember, it is the $5 a month add-on that gives you access to over 4,000 of our images, as well as you can upload up to 75 megs of your own images, and that's why I have so many images in my library. So I gave all of you that, or I added it to your account automatically, because without it you would only be able to upload 5 images, and that's certainly not enough, and you wouldn't have any access to these images here. Okay, so you see the images are broken down by category: banking, finance, business, meetings, computers, technology, education, yada. There's a lot here. Okay, there's a lot of categories. So you can either search the categories here, or you can just click and find what you like here. So I'm going to click on meetings. I want to see what we have in the form of meetings. Oh, I like this one here. So I'm going to use that one. Let me scroll through though and see what else is available. Okay. Yeah, I like this one. So I'm going to choose insert. I'm just going to hover over it and click on insert. And when I do, it's going to insert it into my header. Great. Now this faded white space is actually part of the header image. So I'm going to leave that there. That's fine. And then I'm going to click save. And so now I've updated my newsletter with a header image. Okay. Now, if you know anything about graphics, you could go into, import this into a graphics program, crop it, or add some text over here. But for now, this works just fine. Okay, next we have the issue number in the name block. Okay, so I am going to click in the name block, and I am going to, I actually am going to edit this text, and I'm just going to add newsletter to the end. Toni Harris Speaks newsletter. And the issue number, I'm going to click at the end and put in issue number 1. So again, it's very easy to edit a text box. You just click on it and type in it. All right, we have the introduction block here. The introduction block has dear, contact first name. Now, just a moment of input here on that. If you are not going to make sure every one of your contacts has a first and last name entered in, then leave that off. And I have thousands of contacts, and I have not taken the time to input each and every person's first and last name. So in that case, I don't want to insult people by leaving dear hanging, because then it does look like a template. So I'm just going to highlight that and get rid of it. Okay, just like a word processor, very easy. And then in this case, this just has filler text. It kind of tells you what you should do here. And so I'm going to just say, this is my first newsletter, and I'm excited to bring you tips and tricks that will help you to grow your business and be successful. Okay. Notice that the signature came in automatically. If you don't want a signature there, you don't have to have it. You can just delete it out, just like regular text. For now, I'm going to put that in there. And what I have done is actually scanned an image of my signature. So I am going to go here to Images, My Library. I'm going to find my signature image. There it is. And I'm just going to click and drag it over into the blank space there. It's too big, so I am going to scan it down. Okay, and now I actually have my play signature in my newsletter. Here's a word on that. It would be kind of cool to do your signature as well, but notice this is not my legal signature. I don't want anyone to capture my signature and try to stick it into a document. So I've just got my play signature there. So if you're going to use a signature, don't use your real signature. Make something kind of playful and kind of not legal, so that people won't steal it from you. Okay, so I'm going to click Save. And it's going to save this information and the changes that I've made to that one block. Okay, so now we have the first introduction block done. Now what I want to show you is how to bring in a video. And so I'm going to do video sample example, testimonial. Let's see, constant contact testimonial. All right, now I don't want this, so I'm going to delete that, and then I am going to highlight this text and delete it. Now, to bring in a video link, I am going to have to go over to YouTube where my videos reside. And so I am going to youtube.com/Toni Harris Speak, which is my video channel. And let's see if I'm on the right channel. Let's see. Yes, I am. So I'm going to go to my channel, and I'm going to look at some videos that I have. Very good. This is the one I'm going to do. This is a constant contact customer who's been happy with his service. So I am going to click on the video. And this is what you would do for yourself. Upload it to YouTube. Click on the video. Click on share. And you see here's the code for the video. It's already highlighted. So I'm just going to right click on it and copy. Move back over to constant contact. Drag in the icon that says video link. And it's going to open up a dialog box where it says video URL. Right click in that box and click paste and create the image. There it is. So it brought in his video. So I'm going to put his name, and I'm going to put his title, Minority Diversity Team Leader. All right, very good. And I'm going to choose insert. And so now there is his information and his video. How easy was that? The first thing you have to do is bring the video up on YouTube. So create your YouTube channel. If you don't know how, go to YouTube and type in search video on how to create a YouTube channel. Follow those instructions and then record the videos on your phone or your tablet. Upload them to YouTube, and then you can share it in your newsletter. Really, it's not hard, and once you get used to it and you've done it once or twice, it's a piece of cake. All right, so I'm going to save that. So that's how you get a video in a newsletter. Over here on the right, it says in this issue, and it has a couple of, it's got the article title and featured article. This is a short newsletter. Remember, you want your newsletters to be short. You want to put in bullets, photos, videos. Keep them short and sweet. If it was a lengthy newsletter, you could put in quick links so people could jump through the newsletter from article to article. But frankly, we don't need that. So I'm going to just get rid of those blocks. So I'm going to click the X to get rid of the in this issue block. I'm going to click the X to get rid of the quick links block. And then you see here we have featured article. So in this case, truthfully, it doesn't really matter what the name of the block is. You can edit it to be whatever you want. So I'm going to edit this to say contact us. And I'm going to put in my contact information. Now, it shows up at the bottom of the email, but if it's important for you to have your contact information at the top of the email, then put it into a text box. So I'm going to put in all my information. Okay. And then save. Great. There it is. Easy enough. I'm going to add another featured article block because I'm going to now put in my social media stuff. So all I'm going to do is grab that, drag it where I want it to go, and drop it in. And notice it puts a little shadow gray box where it's going to go. And when you see the shadow gray box, then delete it. I'm sorry, then release the mouse, and it's going to add the box. So I'm going to then click the box, and this time I'm going to put connect with me. Then I'm going to highlight the text that's in there and backspace it out. And then I'm going to come over here to the social link, and I'm going to drag my Facebook link in here, and it's going to, I didn't get it in there quite. Okay, what it's going to do is put in a link to that button, like me on Facebook. That's the button I want to choose. You can choose any of these, and then make sure you put in the address to your Facebook page and choose insert. Okay, follow me on Twitter, drop it in there. Okay, I'm going to click the follow me on Twitter button. And then here I have my Twitter address, so I'm going to insert there. You see what happened? It replaced the Facebook because I dropped it on top. So I'm going to go back and add Facebook again. Okay, like me on Facebook, insert. Okay, and I'm just putting some enters in to give it room for me to add the additional icons. So adding LinkedIn now, and it's going to bring up LinkedIn. It's got my LinkedIn address there for my profile, and then I'm going to add YouTube. Okay, and then I'm going to do YouTube there and insert. Okay, and then I have a specially blog button, so I'm going to find the blog button and drag that in there. Okay, now I need to link that blog button to my blog site. So I'm going to double click the blog button, and down here, to make any image clickable, you bring the image in, you double click on it, and it brings in a customized box where you can make the clickable link. So I'm going to type in the website address for my blog, which is toni-harris.com. You see I typed that in. If I want to double check it and make sure it's working, you click the little arrow that's pointing to the right, and there it is. Great. So I'm going to click insert, and now that is linked as well. Okay, and I'm going to clean up some of this spacing just to make it uniform, and I want to center these buttons inside the box. So I'm going to center, click and center each one. Okay, wonderful. And now I'm going to save that. So that's how you get your Facebook and your social media icons inside the template. Now, for those of you who got the website match, Constant Contact probably set it up for you, but they may not have had your actual Facebook links. So make sure you double click those and make sure they're tied to the right pages on your Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn accounts. All right, beautiful. Looks really, really good. Okay, so in the interest of time, because I don't want this to go on too long, I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to exit it, because now it's ready to go. Now what we need to do is bring in our contacts. So I'm going to go ahead and click contacts, and when I do, it's going to open the contacts window. And now you see I have tons of contacts, and I have 2,500 active contacts, 335 people unsubscribed, and 12 people have no permissions set. But I have several email lists. You can have as many lists as you want. You have a customer list, a prospects list. You can have lists depending on, you might be having multiple newsletters going out for different things. So whatever, you can have as many lists as you want. What we're going to do is actually copy some email addresses from an Excel spreadsheet. So I'm going to go ahead and open a Excel spreadsheet from a past class, and I am going to highlight these email addresses and copy them. Okay, now there's a couple ways to get emails into Constant Contact. You can do just what I just did, open the Excel spreadsheet and copy them. And that's probably the easiest thing. You could actually upload an Excel spreadsheet. Make sure that the email addresses are on the first page. And you want to do that if you are going to, if your spreadsheet already has first and last name in them, and you want to include first and last name in your upload, then you would upload your spreadsheet. Make sure the names are on the first sheet of the Excel spreadsheet. In fact, it'd be great if it's just in a document with only one sheet, okay? Or you can just hand type your email addresses in. So you could click on Add Contacts, Add Names and Emails, okay? Then you're going to click over here in the Names and Email Addresses box. And in this case, I'm just going to right click and paste. And it's going to bring in all of those email addresses. Okay. And then I am going to click Continue. I'm going to check yes, I have permission to email these contacts. And I'm going to add a new list. So I'm going to click on the button, the plus sign, to add a new list. Click Create a New List. And I'm going to put My Test List. Click Create and Apply. And there it is, My Test List. And then Import. And so it's going to go through and import those email addresses into that new list I just created. So you're all going to start, by the way, with the general interest list. And so that's going to be where the bulk of your emails will go. Those are emails you collect through networking or what have you. And so you could just import into the existing general interest list as well if you don't want to create a new list. So I'm going to scroll down my list here, and there's my test list with 25 contacts. And when I click on it, it should show me some of the names that we saw on that spreadsheet. Excellent. Okay, so that's how you create a contact list. Great. Now, before I leave here, one of the things that most of my classes get a chance to see and really like is the sign-up tools, the setting up text messaging. Now, you can also install a Facebook app where people can actually join your mailing list from Facebook. Or you can also generate a QR code that you can then print on your materials, and you can print it in signs in your stores, etc., to get people to join your list. I'm going to click Setup on text messaging because I know that a lot of people are curious how that works. The way it works is when you click Setup, this box is probably in yours, not checked, so check it. And then you have to choose a keyword. And the keyword has to be something that no one else is using. Now, I'm not going to change my keyword. I'm going to cancel this. But notice your keyword can be changed every 60 days. You can only have one active keyword. Your old keyword will no longer work. Okay? And nobody else can use your keyword. So you might need to choose something unique for you and your business, because if you just want to use your name, more than likely that's not going to be available. Then edit your message. What message do you want people to get? When they text in the keyword, they'll get a message that says, please respond with your email address. Okay, if you want to say something else, change it there. Then select what contact list you want those names to go into. Now, as you can see, I've actually created a contact list called text message list. If I would actually suggest you do that, and you would need to do that, set up the new list with no names in it before you come into setting up this text message option, because the name would need to be available here. But that allows me to see how people got on my list, and if people are texting to join, all those people go into one list. So create the list before you get into text messaging, or into, yes, text messaging, setting up your text message, and then you can select that as your list. And then what's your thank you message? Thanks, you're now subscribed to our mailing list. Please watch your email for updates. And then click Save Changes. Now, if you have a storefront, you want to create a sign, or you can take this sign and post it on your social media, then you can click on Create My Sign, and actually Constant Contact will create a sign with your keyword. Text, in my case, drastic steps to 22828 to get started. How cool is that? Really, really cool. And so you could actually save this and eventually create it as an image and start sharing it on your social media as well. All right, so it's done. So that's how you set up text message. It's in Contacts, Sign Up Tools. All right, now we want to go back to email and put our finishing touches on our email. So this is the one. Now remember, I just did this as an example. We're actually going to go ahead and do actions and schedule because the email is ready to go. Where it says interesting and exciting subject here, yep, that's the name of it. I'm going to select the list that I want to send to, and it was called My Test List. So I'm going to check those, check that one and apply. You can check as many lists as you want to go out to send the email out to. So you have it go out to multiple lists. And then what name, from name, it's already there. The from address and the reply to email address is already there. This here is a very important button. It's called Simple Share. And what Simple Share does is says, Constant Contact, when I send out my text message or my email, I want you to add it to my social media automatically. So I'm actually going to go over here to my Facebook page and see if we have an example of that. I know I sent out an email blast about my radio show on Friday, so there might be something here. There it is right there. You see that link? And so when I click on that link, it automatically posted when it emailed my newsletter out. And so it automatically posted to my social media. How cool is that? And so that is set up here in Simple Share. The first time you use it, again, you've got to attach it to your social media. But after that, you see here, it's automatically set up. So I just check which social medias I wanted to go on. I have two Facebook pages, my personal and my professional. And then I have my Twitter page. Let me see if I can add my LinkedIn page here. I'm not sure why it hasn't been adding to my LinkedIn page. So you've got to do your password. So put in your login email and your password. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in. Good, very good. So it added LinkedIn to the list of choices. Okay, and I wanted to go to all of them. Now LinkedIn's not showing up here yet. It will in a few minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Close. And when I do, it'll be set up to go to my 4 social medias. How cool is that? Can't do that in a regular email system. Now I want to click Schedule. Emails can be scheduled up to 6 months in advance. So I'm going to click Send Later. And if you look and see, you see you have several months there. You can change the year, and then you can go into, actually, I guess it can be longer than 6 months. So I'm going to go ahead and schedule this particular email for, let's say, Monday or Tuesday. People, okay, and then I'm going to say I wanted to go into the email box at 8 o'clock a.m. Central Time. And so that's a good practice if most of your contacts are business people. You don't want to send them over the weekend because you don't want your emails to be pushed down by other emails. You can schedule it to hit their inbox first thing in the morning. Okay, send me an early results report. I can use that email, that's fine. And then you could archive. It's an additional $5 to archive emails for future use, and then include Google Analytics. All right, so we're going to choose OK. We don't need either of those at this point. Okay, now for my case, this is a test email. I don't want to send it out for real. So I'm going to unschedule it. But at this point, you would click I'm done and you're done. Okay. Now, that took an hour because I was training you. But once you get the hang of this, it actually can happen in 15 minutes or so. And now that you know you can schedule the emails, you might take advantage of just knocking out 3 or 4 at one time in an hour or so. So I'm going to unschedule this because I don't want it to accidentally go out. And then I'm going to go back to home. All right, we've learned a lot today. We learned about how to do our settings so that we're ready to send out our first email. We took a look at Event Spot just to introduce you to the fact that Constant Contact can manage your events for you. We did your email. We set up a template. We modified the template, changed the colors. We added graphics, we added videos, we added social media icons. So we got started here. Of course, I can't tell you everything all in one sitting. I wish I could, but you couldn't handle it all in one sitting. But when you go to ToniHarrisSpeaks.ConstantContact.com, you see there's a phone number there. That's a phone number for our email coach. When you log into your account, there may be a phone number at the top of your screen as well. The email coaches are there to help you if you're in the middle of doing an email. Do not take long to try to figure something out. Just pick up the phone, call the email coaches, and they'll be happy to help you to manage your emails. Constant Contact's customer service is award-winning, and we love serving our customers. Now, I want to challenge you to take a drastic step to go ahead and do your first email blast. I promise you, you won't die. And you'll probably be excited and like it. And you'll get lots of responses from people saying that they saw your email blast. So I need you to get started and start using the program, and then we can start adding more things as time goes on. Anyway, thank you so much for your time. Hope you learned something you can use right away. And this is Toni Harris saying, take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow. Take care.